Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. We're just going to give everyone a couple of more minutes and we're going to start the presentation then. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on Accountant's Guide on how to scale your practice with Sage for Accountants. I'm Akriti Mathur, the Campaign Marketing Manager for the Accountant's View, or popularly known as Sage for Accountants for you all, here at Sage. Before we begin, let me start with a few housekeeping items. Today, the presentation is going to be recorded and we're going to be sharing it with you post the webinar. So feel free to keep your notes as you go, so you can share it with anyone in your team or digest it later yourself. If you have any questions, just pop them in your questions box on your GoToWebinar panel, or you could also use the chat option and we'll address all of them later at the end of the session. We will take we will also have, if you have any problems with sound or display, please put them in the chat box and we'll address them. All right, let's begin. We're very excited to bring this to you here at Sage. With Sage for Accountants, not only do you get access to a whole lot of tools, but you also get access to some offers and benefits. And today we have Emilio Marcelin, our product marketing manager, who's going to take you through all the wonderful things that are present in our program. So, Emilio, over to you.
Thank you very much, Akriti. Hi, Akriti. I was on mute there. Sorry, everyone. Thank you very much for the introduction. As Akriti mentioned, I am the product marketing manager for Sage for Accountants. What this basically means is that I'm the voice of accountants and bookkeepers within Sage. I go back to the business and make sure that we're taking the right steps in order to serve our customers and serve the industry as best as we can. So in the interest of time, I'm gonna jump right into it because we only have 30 minutes. And so please don't hesitate to put any questions that you have along the way in the chat and I'll be answering them later. I wanted to start by acknowledging so many factors to consider for the final professionals and that need to be considered to scale a business, right? And what are all those priorities? So one is talent, support remote work, talent acquisition and retention. We have data, how to have unified data, how to have all the data information from clients that we have in one place, embrace big data, macroeconomic factors that we need to take into account, and the compliance factors in ESG, for example, are getting more and more noticeable, and people are taking more focus on them. And at last but not least, we have the technology part of them. So how to leverage automation, AI, which is big and has been big for the last couple of years, how to embrace innovation, and by this is how we can leverage the technology with the processes that we currently have within our practice. And of course, something that is always top of mind for accountants and bookkeepers specifically is cybersecurity, right? How to make sure the data from our clients is as secure as possible. So how can we scale a business with all these priorities and factors to consider? I wanted to touch on scaling, right? What exactly does scaling mean? And scaling is not just about growth, it's about growing sustainably. And a growing company experiences increased sales volumes, but a scalable company is able to improve profit margins or keep the same profit margins even as that sales volume increases. So ultimately, what this means is that we need businesses to become more efficient so that we increase efficiency, we increase bandwidth to focus on what really matters for the business, how to grow the business efficiently. And if we grow without scalability, ultimately the person that will be missing out, or the part that will be missing out, will be either the customers, because customer service will start to drop, or the bottom line, because we're just increasing the sales, but we are just increasing cost as well at an unsustainable rate. So that being said, what are we looking to do at Sage? So what we want to do at Sage is to help practices maximize that efficiency within their business to be able to scale. In order to do that, the first step that we took at Sage was to create an accountants business unit that focuses solely on accountants. And the question that you ask yourselves is, okay, if we want to make the processes more efficient, how can we help businesses become more efficient, accountancy and bookkeeping businesses more efficient? And kind of going through the steps of what a business needs to do in order to scale and improve on efficiency, we ended up mapping out what an accounting workflow looks like and understanding where do we fit in that accounting workflow. So this is what a very simplified accounting workflow that we worked on and that we came up with. And this can be represented. It's a similar workflow for any accounting or bookkeeping practice, right? And this can be represented by the cycle that goes from proposal all the way to advisory. So this goes through data ingestions, accounting and payroll, tax, and this cycle repeats itself either monthly, quarterly, or yearly, and firms go over this cycle over and over again. So as a tech partner, Sage needs to make this cycle as fast as possible, as efficient as possible. And here is where Sage for Accountants comes in. Sage for Accountants is our new program built around the way firms work through this workflow. So we understand that even if this workflow is similar for a lot of firms, every firm has its own goals and challenges. So for example, a firm A can have its data ingestion process kind of streamlined. They're pretty efficient in that end. They have the automation tools that they need, but they have challenges with the advisory side, and it's something their advisory process, and it's taking them too long to come up with the reports that they're looking for. So that would be their focus on what part of this workflow to streamline and to make more efficient. And we could have firm B, which is struggling with streamlining its proposal processes, right? And also spending too much time on data entry. So they need to focus on these two areas. Which area is more important and will bring more efficiency into the business? So even if these two practices have a similar workflow, they have very different needs and challenges. We acknowledge that, and with Sage for Accountants, we put the individual practices needs at the center. And we give accountants and bookkeepers control over what tools to use and what tools to plug in across this workflow from proposal to advisory services. And we really, at Sage, with this new program, we really don't care what other tools you're currently using for your practice. This might be QuickBooks, this might be Xero. With Sage for Accountants, we provide the tools that work with your current tech stack. So even if you're using Dext, your data automation is already in place. you might be looking for advisory, for example, working papers, payroll, whatever it is. So let's go over these tools, what these tools are, and where do they plug in into this workflow, so and what they solve for. So on the proposal side and job scope, we have Go Proposal. Go Proposal is a tool that allows to have transparent pricing and boost your practice profitability. And the way to explain it, James Ashford, actually the founder of Go Proposal, refers to it as the value exchange system. So if we have a new customer coming in, or even a current customer, we have a scope of jobs to be done, what is the job to be done, and what happens more often that we would like to is that we end up pricing the job that we're going to do a price that doesn't match the actual job to be done. And this happens with new customers, just like if they have a budget, just having us like cap at that budget, or even like customers that we have for a long time and we haven't reviewed the prices with them. It's a situation that often accountants and bookkeepers end up having, like a scope creep. And what this brings is risk, right? So there's compliance risk because we're doing a job that we don't have in our engagement letters. So we have that risk, and we also have the business risk, and the business risk is that we are the person that's paying, or the part that is paying for that extra work that's being done is actually the practice, and it comes out from the profit of the practice. So with consistent pricing and with what Go Proposal has to offer, you can be more profitable, your practice can be more profitable with current clients and new clients coming in, and avoid scope creep. So I'm gonna go over just a quick demo, a quick introductory video of Go Proposal, so that it gives you a better idea of what this looks like. Can you hear it? And we're having tech problems here. Let me put my audio.
Clients are profitable, but most are not. Transparency, fairness, and
Sorry, I'm going to skip over this so that we can continue. So basically what GoProposal allows to do is by pricing confidently of what your services are worth, sorry, and having total transparency on your pricing structure and how you made off those fees, you can bring that scope and price to the same level, balance them, and your risk goes to a minimum. Once you have done that, GoProposal also allows you to open your sales force to all your team so that they can sell themselves, upsell customers, and you can start actually expanding this circle. So that is GoProposal. If we now move on into the workflow, we go into data ingestion, and I wanted to touch on some figures before we go into the tool that we have for data ingestions, and just to give you an idea on this part of the workflow, why is it so important in to automate and to consider as a possibility for unlocking that efficiency within your practice. So data is a major opportunity, data ingestion is a major opportunity, as I just mentioned, and it not only allows to save time on manual data entry, but also reduce avoidable errors. And this translates in more efficiency for your practice, either to bring on more clients or bring a specific type of clients that you want to concentrate to, or develop new services. As you can see here, like 60% of manual data entry is a pain point for Canadian accountants and bookkeepers, and a year in the finance industry, 25,000 workable hours valued at almost $900,000 are lost. So it is something that could be considered as a quick win when you're thinking of where to find that efficiency. Since we're having tech problems, I'm going to run this video to give you an idea without audio. Okay, so to go over, the video itself is pretty explanatory. So there are 5 key areas where auto entry can tackle data automation. We have bills, as you saw, vendor statement reconciliation. If your client is bringing you any vendor statements and you need to reconcile that against any bills at the end of the month, we can also work on invoices if your client is having to manually input sales invoices. Also on the expense report side, if your client is bringing expense reports to you or doing it themselves, they can even include their team to the app and implement an approval process. And very importantly for accountants and bookkeepers, we have bank statements as well with any bank for those clients that are bringing bank statements at the end of the month or not using bank feeds, or with a big backlog of many months that just come with a bank statement, with multiple bank statements. Auto entry can help with this 5 areas of data automation. Here I wanted to mention, which I think is very important, that we have a credit system within auto entry, so it's really a pay-per-use, and that you can really take advantage of depending on how you use and which parts of this product you use. Moving on to the payroll and accounting and the accounting system. So we know that financials are one of the key areas of the workflow of any accounting practice, right? And where most of the tasks and the daily tasks take place. And at Sage, we have different solutions based on the end customer. So either if it's an entrepreneur or micro business with SPCA, small businesses with Sage 50, and also all the way to clients that are growing their current solutions, that whether it is Sage 50, Xero, or QuickBooks, desktop or online. For customers that are specializing in micro verticals, we have Sage Impact. And on the payroll side, we have payroll and HR that is actually free for your practice to help you with talent acquisition and retention with functionalities like interview scorecard to make sure that you're hiring the best talent out there, leave management, employee record keeping, timesheets, and scheduling. So we, on this part of the workflow, we have multiple tools, and we have a lot of them that are actually on the accounting side, payroll and HR, that are free for your practice in order to take advantage of them. In the interest of time, I will not dive into the solutions, but please go to our website to learn more and sign up to these tools for your practice. So let's move on to working papers and tax. And at Sage, we do not have our own solutions for working papers and tax. However, we know that this is a big gap that we have, and we want to make this workflow as complete as possible. So we have partnered with other leading organizations to fill this gap, like TaxCycle, Caseware, and Countable. So our accounting and ledger solutions are integrated with this third parties that can fill up this gap for you. Now, at last, we have the on the advisory side, and here is where Futurely comes into play. I'm very excited about this. We launched Futurely a couple of months back, and before I go into detail of what Futurely allows to do, I want to pinpoint that on the screen you have the tools that make up Sage for Accountants and where they plug into the accounting workflow, and how Sage is working to scale to help accounting and bookkeeping firms scale with different tools connecting throughout this workflow. So I also just want to reiterate that we do not want to break what is already working for firms. So our solution also integrates with QuickBooks, Xero, and other ledgers to be able to plug in where your firm needs it. Now, going back to Futurely. What does Futurely allow us to do? So Futurely puts accountants in the advisory and driving seat to help clients make the best business decisions. So what features are the main features that Futurely highlights is cash flow forecasting, three-way forecasting, short, medium, and long-term business planning, and drag and drop reporting for and for the dashboard. So actually, if you have your at least 3 years of financial data of a client, you can plug Futurely to your current GL, and within minutes you will have a 3-year forecast that is automated, and you can actually go into Futurely, set up what would work for that client, make changes, and it will make any modifications so that that forecast is tailored to your different clients. Just a couple of numbers: 34% of the average increase in efficiency reported by Futurely customer was 34%, and a 2.8 times increase in income, and a 2.8 times income increase and available cash reported by the customers. That is pretty much what we have today on Sage for Accountants. Okay, so that is pretty much what we have on the tools that make Sage for Accountants. But as I mentioned in the beginning, Sage for Accountants is not only the tools, but also the perks. It's a full partner program. So there are perks and benefits associated to Sage for Accountants. We have transparent pricing for bookkeeping and advisory firms. We have dedicated account management, free certifications and training, free products for practices, and we're building a community around Sage for Accountants to be able to support our partners. So that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to touch on for Sage for Accountants. We are always looking to learn what are the challenges out there that bookkeeping and accounting firms have. So I have actually arranged a poll that asks you exactly that: where are your biggest challenges? And we would love to know that. So please go and answer. And if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. Do we have any questions, Akriti?
Not yet. Hi, everyone. Why don't you use the question box to put in any questions that you may have? We're also going to close the poll now. Thank you so much for your responses. I'm going to post the poll on screen, Emilio, so you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see that we have. So for the poll question, what is your biggest challenge you face in your practice? I have too many manual execution tasks. That was 53% of the respondents. Then followed by, I can keep up with the tech developments in my field, and I don't have the bandwidth to expand my practice, new clients. And I feel these two are kind of related to time savings, right? And finding that efficiency within your practice in order to be able to find the time and focus on the right parts. So thank you very much for sharing that. We really appreciate your feedback, and thank you very much for joining today. Yeah, we actually have a question. What does Sage do for CRM and practice management integrated with Sage 50? So actually, as part of Sage for Accountants, we currently do not have any client management tool for Sage 50. Part of the Sage accounting tool, we have the Sage Business Cloud Accounting Accountants Edition, which has a part and a small client management tool. So as part of Sage 50, we don't have anything, but as part of SBCA, we have a client management solution. So what is the pricing? So pricing, as I mentioned, it depends on the product that we're talking about, right? As I mentioned, we want to be kind of ledger agnostic. We want everyone, depending on their needs, to be able to plug in what the tools that they need. So from Go Proposal, the average price that we have is $150 per month. We have on the Futurely side $200 per month. We on auto entry, as I mentioned, is price per use, so it's a credit system, so it really depends on how much you're using it. Sage 50 has different pricing as well, depending on your needs, as well as SBCA. We have two different pricing. So if you want to learn more about pricing, please go to our website on the accountant section, and you'll be able to sign up to Sage for Accountants, talk to an expert, and find the pricing that you're looking for there. Okay, thank you very much. No more questions, everyone. So again, thank you everyone for joining, and have yourself a good day.